How are you feeling? Who was at the party yesterday? Can you raise your right hand if you are from Istanbul? Wow, many. You are very lucky. What an awesome, beautiful city. Thank you very much for hosting. Really top, one of the cities in the top 5, if you ask me. Really enjoy being here. So, we heard a little bit how the digital reality is transforming the banking sector. We heard a bit about how the consumer journey is transformed through this new digital reality. And we heard about how to build lifelong brands in this digital reality. Today I want to share with you a little bit about the story of digital transformation at Nokia. We've embarked on digital marketing a long time ago. Being a mobile phone manufacturer, you can imagine that mobile and digital is really at the heart of our business, and engaging consumers in those platforms is critical to our success. When you think about digital transformation and why we're doing this, it's very obvious, because all media one day will be digital. And that is a quote from Steve Ballmer, the CEO of Microsoft, who said all media will go digital in 10 years. And asked by journalists afterwards to say, is it really happening in 10 years? Are you sure? He actually said, it doesn't matter if it happens in 10, 7, or 5 years. The fact of the matter is that the addressable media market for advertising will be digital. The question is not if, the only question is when and how fast. And the speed, how fast this is happening, is actually picking up. The pace is accelerating. We're having more inventions every year, and people are more and more connecting to the internet. We have now the ability to connect with 2.5 billion people worldwide. And as you know, actually this year, by end of this year, a lot of analysts are saying that there will be more people logging onto the internet with a tablet or a mobile device and not necessarily with a PC. And that really poses a question to organizations. Are you ready for this mobile reality? Not just the digital, but the mobile reality. Can you raise your hand if you have a website as an agency or a company? Do you also have a mobile version of the website? You should. I think I just read a statistic that in the US, 2/3 of the companies still don't have a mobile version of their website. This week I'm actually very, very excited because we are finalizing the last launches of our new HTML5 responsive websites around the world. With this rollout of creating one site, whether for a mobile phone, for a tablet, or for a PC, having one HTML5 based responsive website in all our countries that we're operating in, is one of the biggest HTML5 responsive rollouts in the world. We've rolled out, by end of this week, more than 70 HTML5 responsive sites. If you go to Nokia.com and you're on a PC, for example, try it out. Resize the browser window and you will see how dynamically the website adopts to the screen size or the browser size or the window and ultimately device that you access. So there's certain breakpoints, and it progressively loads higher resolution images. In some of the pages and sections of the site, we even have created an HD version, really capitalizing on big screen projectors or home systems where you surf the web on a big screen, and you really want to harvest the capability of that screen in terms of resolution and quality. When you think about, and this is just a visualization, how information has been consumed in the last 200+ years, it's really rapidly increasing the pace of change. And some people say that actually we have invented more major inventions in this world in the last decade than in the entire history of human mankind. And we've arguably produced more information in the last 2 years than in the entire history of human mankind. So the pace is actually accelerating, the pace of change. And as you can see here, if you look at the scale of this chart, something you might note that actually the scale is not really proportional. There's 50-year steps, there are 2-year steps. If you put this on a linear scale, it would look something like this. It would look like as everything just happened. And that's one of the biggest challenges for big organizations, to really keep up with that pace of change, keep up with how consumers are evolving so much faster than a lot of organizations and really adapting to their media consumption habits and to their needs in the right speed. So if you will, when you think about the digital transformation in your agency or in your company or in your brand or in your organization, the one capability that really is absolutely critical is change management and your ability to change. This is a picture of Charles Darwin. And actually, he didn't say it, but a colleague of his, a scholar of his, said it. He said it's not the smartest or the strongest or the biggest animal or a species that will survive. It is that species that adopts fastest to change. So adopting to change is critical. And creating a learning organization that constantly thrives to reinvent, to relearn, unlearn, and learn again. That's really the capability that you need to drive into your organizations and your companies, because that will enable you to constantly keep up with that pace of change. When we thought about digital transformation at Nokia, we really wanted to take on board everybody at Nokia, not just the digital marketing manager. They're obviously living and breathing digital already, but we really wanted to expand and make digital part of the fabric of our company, and also really look at social to be a very socially driven business, and having social and digital at the heart of everything. So we created a very a large global program, which we call the Digital Transformation Program, to both integrate digital practitioners, but also the wider marketing community, and make them aware and teach them and build the capabilities of how to become more digital and what digital marketing actually means. We also analyzed from an organizational perspective, what are the levers? What can you do to make an organization to become more digital? What are the areas that you need to focus on? We've identified these 5 areas. It's really the organization, how you're structured. What are the reporting lines? Is it very hierarchical? Is there a lot of red tape, if you will, or are you very agile and fast? What kind of ways of working do you have? Do you have a lot of processes? Are they digitalized as much as possible? Are they actually user-friendly? Are your expense systems, your marketing, budgeting, planning systems, are they user-friendly or are they taking a lot of time? Because what really matters is the speed. And obviously, the most important aspect is who are your people? Who are your teams? What kind of capability and expertise do they have? And how can you build further competences? And overarching, of course, you need to have a strategy that has digital at the heart of it and a culture around that that enables you to change fast and to embrace this new reality. When you think about the new reality, it's actually not that new anymore. I keep seeing new media and new reality. I think the digital reality has been here for quite some time. And people still arguing is when is the year of the mobile? I think the year of the mobile has long passed. I think the question is, when are we finally waking up and allocating and investing into mobile as the consumer does with his time and his engagements? When you think about what just happens in just 60 seconds in this digital reality, it's just so much things happening. There's so many touch points. There are new social networks popping up. There are new services coming, new apps. If you as a marketer really want to focus on results, on ROI, how do you decide where to invest and where do you spend your time? So easily you get distracted in this reality. Without focus in this reality, you won't succeed. And that's also the heart of the digital transformation training and kind of project that we've embarked on for quite some time now, is to really focus our energy on the things that matter. And your best friend in that area is data. Data is really the new oil. And if you think about how does business success look like, and then translate that, how does that look like in each touch point, and especially in digital, and really focus on a rock-solid KPI framework, and leverage that and land that into the markets, into the wider marketing organization, it will tell you, it will help you what works and what doesn't work. You'll find out fairly quickly. And you will be able then to focus on the activities that really matter. So a really good measurement framework is really at the heart of our digital transformation story. And to what Nikki has shared with us, the new customer journey, we've actually taken that as the basis for our measurement framework. Really look at the typical life cycle of a mobile consumer and what are the phases that consumer is in, and then identify one KPI for each of the phases to really drive down the effectiveness along those KPIs. The consumer action, the phases that we've identified is the pre-purchase, the learn more. And here we've identified, of all the engagements that you can do in digital, we've identified those that build product consideration the highest, and we call them high-quality engagements. When you're then ready to buy and you're trying to find prices, offers, and perhaps the right store or the right e-commerce partner to find the best possible way to buy that phone, we call this obviously the buy more phase. And the KPI here is for us leads, as we don't sell direct, we sell through our retailers and operators, and we drive leads to them. Once you have the phone and you're trying to enhance the experience and really want to make sure that you have a fantastic NPS score, Net Promoter Score, and really happy customers, you want to make sure that the consumers are really doing more with their phone. So how do you entice them to download more apps, to understand what they can do with the device? Because that's what really matters and at the heart of the experience for consumers. So the do more engagements are our KPIs in that phase, and really driving more of these engagement at a lower cost is then the critical mission. And last but not least is tell more. And that spans across the entire consumer journey. And tell more is really the kind of the social aspect. How do you make sure that people not only tell other people more about their experiences, but also they find what other people said? For example, if Blogger reviewed your devices or your products, how can you make sure that they are visible to the consumer in the learn more stage? And the KPI is here obviously shares. Shares is when somebody endorses our messages, our posts, our tweets, our videos on YouTube, for example, when somebody forwards that to their friends and ultimately endorses then our message and expands our reach. Can I see a raise of hand again? Who of you know about the Oreo tweet after the Super Bowl? Right? It was one of the most successful corporate tweets or tweet by a brand ever. And it basically harvested the fact that somebody really responded fairly quickly to an event at the Super Bowl where the lights went off, and they created a tweet around that. This kind of very agile and very fast way of responding to trends or to events in the real world that consumers care about is really at the heart of being a real-time marketing organization. Now, we have actually, a couple of weeks ago, tweeted in response to one of our competitors who introduced a new color story into their devices. We responded to that and basically reminded him that actually we had a color story for much longer. And we posted, "Thanks, competitor. Imitation is the best form of flattery." Now that post, together with a picture of one of our very old of our product range, has been retweeted 40,000 times, making it the most retweeted tweet by a brand ever in the history of Twitter. Twitter actually called us up and said, "Do you guys know what's going on? You already surpassed the Oreo tweet, and now you have almost 40,000 retweets, and it's now the most retweeted tweet by a brand ever in the history of the internet." So very proud of that. And that's obviously a share. We tweet something, somebody retweets it, that's a share. That's the KPI we're looking at Tell More. Now with that, I want to thank you very much, but I have one more a favor to ask. Can all of you raise your right hand as high as you can and keep it up? Please, all of you. Could you raise your right hand as high as you can and keep it up? And now raise it a little bit higher. It's exactly that extra effort we need to put in to really transform and go out of our comfort zone and step a little bit further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chris.